Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, Lasal Anungu.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sal in the building, man. The tax bill has passed. The tax bill has passed. We had people selling into the news, and that's to be expected. All right, when the bill reached the floor, there was a lot of buying activity, and they're selling into the news of the tax bill passing, and that's to be expected. So overall, decent day on the markets. As we talked about yesterday, the Bitcoin stocks pulled back, but we expected that to happen as we saw Bitcoin selling off yesterday after the announcement of Bitcoin Cash being added on to Coinbase. All right, shout out to everybody slowly coming into the chat room. Again, the show is episode 252, of course, brought to you guys by the good people over at Equity Feed, equityfeed.com. Get 2 weeks free, no credit card required, equityfeed.com, the best scanner on the market. Who do you have in the chat room right now? What's going on, Ann? Ann still out there in the Caribbean, right? Yusuf L, Rob Stratton, 4% GDP, yeah. We had a couple corporations come out after hours. Comcast. We had Comcast come out after hours. They're giving everybody in Comcast a $1,000 check, basically bonus. So if you work for Comcast, you're getting a $1,000 bonus. They didn't say when. They just said you weren't going to get it. Or excuse me, that you were going to get it. That you were going to get it. Callie Robb, Chris McKinney, Matt M., Kenny Dunn, you said Puro fell on its ass. Yeah, well, we said Bitcoin was going to pull back. All the Bitcoin stocks were going to pull back today. We said that yesterday. Yes, indeed. Gerardo, DPG, P Bank, Chris McKinney, appreciate that, bruh. Gucci's in here, George M. And George, I think you added me on Facebook too. I'm going to make sure I add that. I haven't gotten to my Facebook in a couple days. Jeff Thayer. JT the Bullhead Trader, Isaiah Taylor. What's going on, guys? Let's go ahead and get to this market. Still had 156.71 labeled. You saw we bounced off that a few weeks ago, but, you know, again, thanks to the excitement going into the tax plan a couple days ago, as that was finally going to the House for the vote. We had a nice, really great day that day, which was the 12/15. 12/15, if I remember correctly. 12/15 was last week Friday, if I'm correct. Monday was a great day, and then we've been pulling back ever since as they've been selling into the news of the tax plan finally passing, as the Republicans had all the votes needed necessary for it to pass. So we've already talked about the implications. Companies have already came out and talked about how they expect to you know, reinvest those savings. We've already had a couple companies decide that they were going to, you know, buy more shares, do share buybacks. Today was a big day for oil and gas across the board. We saw gains in some of the small caps as well as large caps. Let me see XOM, which I got on the screen right now, Exxon. We saw a movement in there. We saw a movement in the ETF, USO. Even some of the small players, right? The oil and gas play that I had been talking about yesterday, LNGG, not too much volume. I put a $50 recommendation on this, price target on this. Go to my website, Advanced Equity Research, read the report I wrote up on it. I think this is going to 50. We actually hit 40 on it before pulling back today, but ended up closing at 39.50, and it's up after hours right now too. So that's a stock looking for the breakout. CIEQ. What was that? Is it CIE? What's the CIE one that's running? CIEQ. Yeah, it is CIEQ. Isn't it CIEQ? No, there's a Q stock that's running crazy right now. What's that oil and gas Q stock? Hold on, I'm going to find it. There's an oil and gas Q stock that's running like nuts right now. Where is that at? CIEIQ. CIEIQ. Where is that at? CIEIQ. There we go. CIEIQ. So it was CIE, former New York Stock Exchange play, got delisted a couple days ago, and today was a great day for the company, man. And again, great day across the board for oil and gas. We talked about it how yesterday on the show, and I wrote it in that report as well. The oil and gas companies are one of the highest taxed companies in America. This tax bill is a huge relief for them. What they're going to be doing with the extra revenue, again, you just hope that they're going to be reinvesting in the business, or more than likely going to be buying shares. But the problem is that doesn't really change the fundamentals of the company. But we'll see. We'll see in due time. All right. Yes, indeed. IH Dave gave you kudos on his show. That was nice. Oh, okay. Shout out to Dave, man, from Investors Hangout. Yeah, shout out to Dave from Investors Hangout. You know, again, that's one of the best websites out there. If you follow OTC stocks, you got to be a member of that. Yes, indeed. Well, PTOP, yeah, PTOP was one of the rare stocks to actually put on some gains. I expected and mentioned that yesterday that the Bitcoin stocks were going to pull back. I saw and let you guys know some of my small favorites that I like moving forward, just because those aren't as extended as some of the other ones that have already been running, including Puro, PTOP. We had mentioned PTOP. In fact, Ken called us yesterday and he mentioned PTOP. He got back to me again on Twitter about that. Follow me on Twitter, OTC3000. And I mean, here it is, right? Here it is. PTOP, 82% gain today on the market, and you know, could be very well going higher. You still got a little bit of space there to move higher. Obviously, with that needle or with a little bit of a candlestick up there, but again, that's a nice size on that one. So there's a lot of conviction there from the buyers, and as you can see here, even though we got to the lows, you did have buyers at those lows to snatch up those cheap shares. If we look at the action today, this is kind of how I priced out it on PTOP. So, for the most part, I don't know if this was an email. I don't know if this was, who knows? All I know is that you had quite a bit of volume coming in after 2 o'clock on PTOP and sending that stock higher. 646, I think this is Ken. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Sal? What a crazy day. I'm on MGTI. I got out of it. I had the chance to get out. I got out this morning. Good thing I did it, because it hit a high of 814 and then it came crashing down.
Yeah. I mean, but that was expected. I mean, MGTI absolutely been on a tear over the last week and a half. So, look, there's going to be some profit taking, but right. I'm going to say that this isn't done yet for these Bitcoin stocks. I wouldn't be surprised.
No way.
If in 2 weeks from now we can see MGTI in double digits. I wouldn't be surprised, especially if Bitcoin gets back to running again. So Bitcoin's down, MGTI starts selling off a little bit here. This is an opportunity for a dip buy if we get an end to the selling tomorrow. We'll find out tomorrow.
Now, what do you think the NETE and the NXTD, the amazing runs of both of those Bitcoin stocks today, and then after hours, they're both up 20-30% in after hours.
This is just insane, man. All you got to do is come out with an AK and say you were doing something with the blockchain, and that's all it takes. I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, just enjoy it. when it happens. And you really got to be real smart about how you come into these things, because as you can see on NETE, I mean, unless, again, you're really quick with the finger, this was hard to play. This was really hard to play. I saw it open up. I got the alert on black box stocks, but, I mean, I'm looking at the chart here, and I didn't see anything. You know, I didn't really see anything for me to be able to do here on NETE. So it's up after hours. Obviously, I wouldn't have even seen this possibly as an after hours tomorrow. You know, another green day for that. In fact, if anything, it looked as we were going into the close that it might sell off. But, yeah, it's up after hours, another $2. And we'll see if they're going to have buyers up there at that $22 open.
But you have to remember that I think the float is under 2 million, so the float turned over 11 times today.
Jeez, that's crazy. That's insane. My thing is, it turned over 11 times, but you know, there was really not much movement, right? I mean, you know, there was some range here. Let me not say there wasn't any range here. We did get to some lows here, 15.18 at about 10.20. Then we got to a high of about 24.98. So, you know, look, you know, you played against the robos here, but I didn't see anything as the chart build up here on my 5 minute. I didn't see a clear entry for me. But beautiful for the guys who decide to hold overnight. But I have no doubt they're going to be selling hard in the morning.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, I knew it. I was it last Friday and Monday when that first one, the INTV, went from 60 cents to 6. I said that just signals that there are going to be others that run. And sure enough,
yeah, I don't doubt that this is not over. I really don't doubt this is over. And you know, we're looking at stocks like INTV, which looks like Riot when Riot first started out. They're pulling back. You know, they're pulling back, but. Again, yeah. when these other, you know, when Bitcoin starts running again, I think you'll start seeing these back higher to those and possibly retesting those highs.
Yep, I agree. Let's also move to marijuana now. The MCOA that I talked about last night had a decent move today on, I think, above normal volume.
Yeah, MCOA.
It broke the old high.
I'm so happy with where I've been talking. I've been bringing up MCOA so many times here on this show. Every time we bring up marijuana, this is my favorite marijuana stock, just because I love the way this thing trades. When this brings in volume, it just keeps on building gain after gain after gain. So how high this can go, I don't even know. I thought 5 cents was going to be my entry. I mean my exit. Now, you know, the way it's set now, we could probably go farther than that. The stock.
If you look at a weekly chart, look at the weekly chart over the last 2 years, and the old high was in November 2016 at I think it's 20 cents.
Yeah. So, I mean, this can go a lot further. But, you know, you don't want to be greedy, right? You don't want to be greedy. But, again, I love the candlestick because the fact that we closed at the high, that lets me know these buyers are committed and they see something more in this. So, I'm continuing to ride it out. And if you're in it, too, I think they got more gains to come. So, we'll see. But if any even inch of it starting to sell off, then I'm going to want to take some, you know, some gains.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But it's also good to see other ones like your TRTC you have on the headline that looks like it's starting to move now, and the Rocky Mountain one made a decent move today. It's good to see others participating.
Yeah, they're participating. Obviously, I wish they were moving as aggressively. You know, Rocky Mountain High Brands. This is an interesting one. Let me go back to the daily. This was an interesting one because we saw this yesterday, and what we talked about on yesterday's show on Rocky Mountain High Brands was whether or not we're going to have another day of green, and we got it. So where does Rocky Mountain High Brands go for here? I mean, only time can tell. Just got to really trade it and see what happens tomorrow, you know, at the open.
Yeah, it's exciting times. I like you first talked at the show today, Ryan, oil stocks, and that was talked about in detail on Fast Money CNBC tonight. And they were talking about which one, Chevron and Exxon, and you should also look at PSX. These stocks look good on the charts. Yeah,
they really do. And you know, you got some guys out there who are saying that it doesn't necessarily have to do with the tax plan. It's more you know, it varies depending on who you talk to, why these stocks are up. I believe it's because of the tax plan. These these oil and gas companies are now cash rich, and depending on their size, maybe by several billions of dollars more cash. So that's going to play into, possible acquisitions, possible reinvestment, repurchase of stock repurchases. I mean, who knows how far this, and how beneficial these could be to these oil and gas companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Really good stuff going on. One more, NAK. NAK really was disappointing. They came out with what we thought was good news Monday, but a $1.5 billion offer, or it was a partnership on their Pebble property, and it just tanked. And it just keeps going lower and lower.
Again, this is crazy because we talked about this on yesterday's show too. I thought this tax plan would be a boom to this. I mean, they get the deal what they want, right? They got the opportunity now to move ahead with their plans, and now again you're seeing selling off into the news. So, that's small caps for you. But we'll see where this goes moving forward. But now NAK looks to be losing its ass here, and I don't know where the bottom could be.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. I'm enjoying it.
Appreciate it, Ken.
Have a good evening.
Thanks for the call. Thank you. Yes, indeed. So, let me go ahead and flush that shit down the toilet. That's kind of disappointing here. They, this is a stock that guys have been very, very patient with. Very, very patient with because of the situation with the Alaska and the EPA and whatnot. Well, they got it now, and it's selling off. If you remember, this run here back in November, this is all about the idea of Donald Trump getting elected, and then, oh, yeah, we're going to get the approval, blah, blah, blah. That's what this entire run was about. That situation in Alaska. So, now, the way it's looking, it's probably going to go back and test some of these lows. Can it test that 121 support, 119 support? Who knows? What's going on, stocker fella? Random stock run. All right. Let's go look at what you guys are looking at. ENRJ. Get rid of that old line. ENRJ. Yeah, this one looks like it's really struggling. So this is kind of looking like where CIE was before they went bankrupt. If you remember, we just put up the CIE chart. So this is a little bit too little too late for ENRJ. And down 22 cents. I mean, not saying you might not get a run, but for the most part, it looks like it might be game over for them right now. So making new lows here. I mean, going, as you can see here, last several weeks going into December, it just doesn't look very healthy right now. So I'll let that go on that one.
You lose.
All right. What else you guys are looking at? BVTK CEO tweeted he's getting into crypto. I mean, what CEO on the small cap side isn't getting into crypto? I mean, that's the new thing to do. And for the most part, the SEC isn't going to do anything about it, right? So you can just come out with an AK and say it. You don't actually have to have any real operations. As we see, BITCF is still trading, even though that fell on its ass today, like many other Bitcoin stocks, sold off very aggressively today. BITCF. But again, that's all you got to do is come out and say, hey, we're in Bitcoin. We're in crypto. We're doing something to that effect. That's all you really got to say right now. All right. We saw STVI come out. I don't know if you guys saw STVI. STVI, this is a cryptocurrency play. I haven't seen anybody mention this one, but this is a cryptocurrency play. They announced that they're putting some type of capital investment to accelerate some kind of blockchain initiative. You're going to have to read it. That came out today for the company. In fact, that one came out after hours. But STVI is doing something with the blockchain. So you're going to have to look into that as well. BVTK juicy PR expected. We'll be watching. I mean, they can be, the next Bitcoin runner. Yeah, well, but we talked about that yesterday. We expected all of them to sell off, but Just as we talked about, BTCS, we talked about BTCS, at 10 cents, 11 cents, 12 cents. That was, looking hindsight now, that was a great time to buy, right? You had mediocre runs previously to that, and they all pulled back, and those were great times to buy. Those were great times to buy, and we're going to see a pullback in BTCS, but now they're going to be higher, so you'll see it sell off today. It might sell off tomorrow. Will you get back to 10 or 15? Probably not. So we could see a very well an up, down, up, kind of play as Bitcoin tries and continues to fight for 20,000. I'm starting to get a little bit worried too, because I mean, it's acting like it can't do 20,000. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? It's acting like it can't do it. Bitcoin's acting like it can't do it, but we'll see. And almost like it's kind of setting up a double top for us. We'll keep watching. SC Trucker, SRSP. No, you keep bringing up the other SRSP. Oh, yeah. There's two SRSPs. All right, SRSP. Yeah, there's another Bitcoin play sold off today. By the way, I got to remember to look this one up. I forgot to write this one down yesterday. SRSP. This is another one, right? So the name really doesn't have anything to do with the underlying business. They're a cryptocurrency play now. They came out yesterday. We read on the show that they came out and they're going to be buying some S9s to start mining. So that's their gig right now. So that pulled back today aggressively, 28%. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But I think, again, tomorrow's probably another down day for Bitcoin stocks. And continue to watch what Bitcoin is doing, because these won't be read for very much longer. Bitcoin Cash taking the fire away? I think so, man. I'm really starting to not like that Roger Ver guy. He's very deceptive in what he's saying. He's very manipulative in the way he talks about Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. And I just thought that was really the wrong move for Coinbase to put, Bitcoin Cash on their platform, because, now you got a new person going on. Is, what's this Bitcoin Cash? What's this? I mean, so I'm not feeling him. I'm not feeling that guy at all. But, a part of me feels that this cryptocurrency craze is a bit of a redistribution of wealth from, people with dreams and of excitement of possibly making money to computer nerds, many of whom, let's be honest, many of these coins are going to be nothing in 30 years, right? Many of these coins aren't going to even exist. They're just going to be fun things we're going to talk about as memories. And these guys are set for life. These guys are going to be set for life. Guys like Roger Ver, what's his name, Lee from Litecoin. These guys are set for their life, their kids' life, and their kids' life. Some of them, right? They've got millions and millions of coins. So what's his name from Litecoin? He said he's out. He said he got out of Litecoin. He said, something about, something about conflict of interest. Bullshit. This guy probably had, who knows how many millions of coins. Now he's dumped it out for 300 a pop. You're talking about a guy who's probably worth now a couple $100 million, right? A couple $100 million. Ruby, RUBI, Rubicon Project. Let me know a little bit about it. I don't know too much about Ruby. Don't know too much about Ruby. As you can see here, it was oversold for a period of time, but Definitely not the chart you want to see, though. Could it be working its way out? Maybe. Let me work that a little higher. Bring this back up here. Let it go. There we go. All right. Don't know too much about it. Speaking of cryptocurrency, one great ETF that is following the crypto security space. Some of you have probably heard about it. HACK. HACK is the cybersecurity ETF. Some people are saying it's a way to play Bitcoin in terms of the security side. Look more into HACK. HACK, again, is the name of this ETF. Read a little bit more about it. But if you look it up here on TradingView, there are quite a few articles pegged to it in that it has something to do with Bitcoin and Bitcoin security. What I love about this ETF, in the little bit of research I did on it, it does give you some what's the word for it? And I'm looking for some access, or it does have some ownership in NVIDIA shares. So you do get some of that exposure. Exposure, that's the word I'm looking for. You do get some exposure to high-flying stocks like NVIDIA. But that could be a good thing and a bad thing, because right now NVIDIA is pulling back as traders seek better volume elsewhere. Better value as well, I should say. But not bad on that. NETE, yeah, NETE is exploding, man. NETE is exploding right now. Let's look at some other tickers you guys brought up in the chat room. CXRX. CXRX. Bring up Finviz. Pharmaceutical stock. Horrible chart for the year. Ran a couple days ago. As you can see here, no commitment to those higher prices. And stock really got beat up. Today down almost 10%. Speaking of beat up stocks, there were quite a few of them. Today we were looking for, and I was looking for, possibly a rebound in AKER. Nothing happened today on AKER. We had huge volume. But really no move. So, still a lot of dumping that was taking place in AKER, but that was kind of held back by the fact that you did have a lot of guys who said, oh shit, I'll go ahead and buy these cheap shares and see what happens here. So AKER, no gain, no loss on the day. Still oversold on the chart. But again, no gain, no loss on AKER. That's long story from what happened to CCIH today. CCIH had a really good day yesterday on, practically a pump, right? I think it was a chat room pump yesterday on CCIH. All right. Here's basically what happened. All the volume came on CCIH at exactly noon, right? Or practically just as soon as it hit 1 o'clock, it took off. So that tells me this is either a chat room or a mailer that went out. Obviously, couldn't hold, and you did see a eventual sell-off in CCIH. Hold on here. Let me see. That was pretty ugly. That was pretty ugly. All right, because it just opened up down. It opened up down, which was pretty ugly. CCIH was an easy short. Yeah, I mean, holding shorts overnight is always dangerous, but the fact that this, had opened up lower, that was an opportunity for, if you could have came in at the open, at 236 open, and grabbed some shares, that would have been a really nice play for you. You got to a low of almost 185 on the day on CCIH before recovering to 194. Still got some meat on that bone, though. Still got some meat on that bone. I mean, CCIH is a horrible company, not profitable, still overpriced to where it is now on its market cap. But don't get too comfortable here, because you could get squeezed tomorrow on it, because it does have a low float. But I think that's going lower tomorrow. right. CCIH. MYDX. Let me see. MYDX, the OTC stock. MOTC, MYDX. Here's the chart over the past 6 months or so. Not much action, but looks like you got in a lot of volume today. 55 million shares traded today on MYDX, up 26%. Don't know too much about what they got going on here on MYDX, but nice couple of days for the stock coming from those low 003s. You actually got up. The stock actually did hit 0065, so the stock momentarily was up over 100% for the week. Over 100% for the week, including a couple days last week, 7 days to be total. But pulling back 26% gain today. But the stock is up almost 75% over the week. Nice move. Had news today, no reverse split. Okay. Yeah, okay, I do see here they did cancel that reverse split. That's a good move for them. That's a really good move for them. I mean, look, you know, look, when it comes to reverse splits, if you're not in it, I'm cool with it. You know, if you're not in the stock, I can get that. If you're in the stock, you know, that's the last thing you want to see. But if you're not in the stock, then, you know, you actually want to see, you know, some of that float getting erased off that, right? I mean, you want to see a lower float because you think the potential could be a lot better for an upside move with a lot less shares to have to buy to make it move. But, you know, look, investors liked it, up 26% for the day. Not bad. NIHD, this is a stock we haven't looked at in a couple days here. NIHD, this is a wireless company. This is a stock we had looked at previously along with stocks like GSAT. If you remember GSAT, the company that supposedly holds the one very important patent for, what's that called? LTE and what's that? GSM, is it like GSM 5 or something like that? Something very important patent in terms of wireless. Because we're on another level, 4G, 5G, there we go, 5G. 5G. That they hold a very important patent for 5G service. And that still, you know, is supposedly in the works. I haven't mentioned the stock in a long time, but if you look up 5G, Wikipedia has a page on 5G. 5G is incredibly powerful. I mean, data rates of up to 100 megabytes per second. Can you imagine getting 100 megabytes per second on your phone? On your phone, bro. That'd be insane, man. That's quite a bit of data. 1 gigabyte per second simultaneously to many workers on the same floor. So yeah, 5G is very, very impressive. It's got to get released. As of 2017, development for 5G is being led by several companies: Samsung, Intel, Nokia, Ericsson. But again, most companies have been really quiet about it. They've been really quiet about it. And 4G is kind of old now, right? I mean, I remember hearing 4G in around like 08, 07. So 4G is kind of slowing us down here. We got to get up higher. We got to get up higher. All right. I'm still wondering why we don't all have fiber. We should all have fiber. That you know, if Trump is serious about this infrastructure play, he should lay down fiber all across America. You know, that'd be an incredible boom to our economy. If everybody in America can have access to fiber optic internet service. 235 GALT up 21% today. What was the news there? GALT springs up 18% as Illinois businessman pours millions in credit to finance company's therapy development. All right, so I guess, yeah, so heels on drug maker walking into credit. All right, so all right, yeah, so it looks like GALT got a load of cash. which is never a bad thing. I'm looking at this as a possible short, though, because this is a very, short-term enthusiasm built in this and going into this play. If that 10 million, granted, is quite a bit of money for a stock with a market cap of only $70 million, but it's going to take a while for that money to really work to the bottom line. Serious man, he's saying 5G not coming until 2020. Okay. Yeah, the stock that I was talking about was NIH. What was that? Hold on. NIHD. Sorry. NIHD, and then we were looking at GSAT. NIHD and then GSAT. 5G got declared a national security priority, so it might be sooner. Let's hope so. I mean, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. I think, you're already seeing, for those of you guys who've been on Facebook now for several years, you're already seeing Facebook becoming more video intensive, if you've noticed. I've never seen as much video on Facebook as I have this year. I don't remember seeing this much video on Facebook as I saw in 2017. A lot more video coming on Facebook. EGLT down 12%. Down 12%. Biotech play. Again, don't know the story of it. Let me know what's going on here. Obviously, the stock's been doing very, very poorly over the year. I mean, the stock's lost. Good God, this was an $8 stock, now trading at $1.02. Would have been a beautiful short. Would have been a beautiful
monster kill.
Did I have options on that? Wow, look at that. EGLT, yeah, $8 stock. This was an $8 stock. And doing horribly right now. Well below the 200 moving average. Losing another 12 points. This could possibly be going down to, down to DCTH kind of territory. You remember them? Kenneth Rosenberg. Yeah, I mentioned Puro. I'm not going to beat it up. I'm not going to, beat up a dead horse when it comes to some of my favorite stocks and going over and over. But I'm telling you right now, the company's name is Frontier Capital, if I'm going to be, if to be exact. And they're going to go through the symbol change. They're going to go through the share reduction. So this is going to be something to watch. This is going to be something to watch. All right. For the people who got in at 0070s, 0080s, just chill out. Let these things develop a little bit. I remember when I mentioned BTCS, I had got an email from a guy. He's like, man, I'm in at 13 now. It's at 10, man. You said this was going to... And now I haven't got an email from him because he probably sold it for a profit. Chill the fuck out when it comes to these OTC stocks. All right. CIFS Muddy Waters. I'm not surprised. Muddy Waters, we brought them up here on the show. They're exclusively a company that goes after these Chinese-based companies. I think that's like his favorite. In fact, if you go to his website, he talks about how he worked in China with like this bank and he got to learn the language. And sometimes you see on his Twitter, he'll go ahead and actually type in Chinese. I don't even know if he's Asian. He might actually be Asian. He might actually be an Asian guy, but he exclusively follows companies that are based in China that trade here on the U.S. markets. So I'm not surprised he went over after CIFS. But it looks like the stock rebounded today, up 9%. We talked about, Mr. Citron Research. Yesterday, coming after Andrew Leff, coming after Riot Blockchain, was actually on CNBC. I expected a better, a bigger drop than this. I don't know. Is Andrew Leff losing a little bit of his touch, or is Bitcoin just that strong? I have a feeling that Bitcoin is just that strong. And guys just are just hungry for this blockchain, man. Anything blockchain, they're just hungry for it, bro. It is what it is. I mean, just as somebody will hit Dries for 10,000, you know, they'll hit Riot, they'll hit Elfin, right? Elfin, the CEO himself came out and said it's a piece of shit. And Elfin still, right now, you know, barely sold off today. You know, the CEO said, man, this is ridiculous. I don't know. My stock is $5. That's what he said. He said, my stock is, we had the valuation at $5. And yet, Longfin, last I looked on, what was that website that had the valuation? Was it MarketBeat? Because it's hard to kind of find the valuation on it. But still, you know, $2 or $3 billion. You know, and then again, this is the company that, you know, began trading at $5 a share. You know, go back to just a couple days ago. Just a couple days ago. You know? Yeah, I almost called him Alex Left, but it's Andrew Left. Appreciate it, Stock Z. No, I'm learning myself, bro. You know, again, we're just getting those 10,000 days. I'm chasing those 10,000 hours and those 10,000 days. 10,000 days is 30 years. Can you imagine how great of a trader I and you will be 30 years from now, dude? They continue to work this hard on this shit. Let's continue to keep moving. Again, I'm paper trading Longfin, as you can see here. Sometimes when I paper trade sometimes during the day because, you know, I'm paying for TradingView. And Longfin would be a great short, but as you can see here, you got buyers today. I'm looking at level 2, and I was seeing some bids, man. Like, guys, like, what the fuck? Guys really hitting the bid. Speaking about hitting the bid, Wins. Wins is another stock we looked at yesterday. We said Wins could be another stock that could be halted. In fact, it's past where it got halted 6 months ago. Wins that what was that? The 225, 229. Look where Wins is now. Wins, the Cayman Island stock. I think you got a lot of, I don't know if it's Chinese investors. I don't know what it is. But guys are hitting the bid on Wins. You know, they're hitting the bid, man. Stock is up 11% today, closing at 360. Now you're looking at possibly 380 tomorrow. You're at 80 on the RSI. It could go very well, go to whole higher. You know, volume isn't even as heavy as it was back in June, and that makes sense because, you know, the guys who were in here for 6 months, they had their money trapped. They don't want any piece of that. But, you know, still going higher. Said no shorts for Elfin. Yeah, there's no shorts available at all. That's why I got a paper trade it. There's no shorts available at all for that thing. All right. And I'm not even surprised because if I'm a broker, I don't want to give you access to that shit. I don't want to give you access to that shit. I mean, you know, end up costing me money. That shit's moving that damn fast. SGYP. Let's go. SGYP. Another biotech with a very ugly chart for 2017. Up 9% today. Looks like they had an earnings presentation. It's a biotech play, so what are they announcing? That they're losing money? All of them hemorrhage cash until they actually have something to work with. You know, every biotech play, you know, their whole thing is to come to market with something, but get to a point where they have a promising drug and something like Merck or Pfizer comes in and picks them up. That's the dream. That's the dream of all of these small little biotech plays. You know, don't listen to the, oh yeah, we got a public on FDA, then we're going to go to market. Their dreams, and the people who invest in these stocks, their dreams are for them to do incredible clinical trials that hopefully lead to life-saving, life-changing, life-altering drugs that companies, with market caps of 10 billion, 30 billion, 40 billion would be interested in buying and paying a premium for shareholders who were there from the beginning, in order for them to get rich. Yeah, you've been digging into crypto for a couple weeks. 3 tickers. IYT. Is that IYT? Is it? Yeah, the transportation ETF is doing wonders right now. And again, if you look at the transportation ETF, by the way, Boeing plays a big part of that. There's huge exposure to Boeing. If you pull up Boeing, company announcing a share buyback as well. They're doing incredible. New orders coming in from all over the world. This isn't just a bull market in America. This is global, right? This is global. And companies like Boeing are winning. So if you're talking about the transportation ETF, you're talking about a stock that's benefiting off the moves in Boeing right now, and a couple other transportation plays too. All right, so look into what's winning in that. But yeah, if you want to play the modern portfolio theory thing, yeah, you're doing a great job of playing these ETFs that are doing good, that are really doing good, and eliminating that single stock risk. So why pay for TradingView when you can get E-Trade Pro for free? E-Trade Pro charting, very good. Yeah, but I like TradingView. I like the screen. I love how big it is. I love, the custom, indicators. I love the colors. I love the way I just like it. I just like it. And I don't really fuck with E-Trade anymore too, so. POE. What's POE? I don't see a POEHM. POETF. I don't know what that is. Poet Technologies. OTC stock, 17 cents a share. Actually got some volume here. What the hell is this? I'm gonna have to look into why does this OTC stock have some actual consistent volume here. I don't know what the story is here. Now, not much volume, not much, but somebody's buying it here on the regular. Anyway, let's keep it moving. CTR, Clearbridge Energy. I'm not a big fan of MLPs. Those are mastered limited partnerships. I'm not a big fan of these kind of energy companies. All right, I'm not a big fan of them. It's a weird way that they divide the money up, right? Because they're multiple companies, and I'm not a big fan. I don't really understand them. So, I like shit that I can easily understand. PTOP, but if you know something about it, yeah, we talked about PTOP. If you know something about it, again, my number 305-600-2896. Inform us. We're always hungry here for more information. PTOP, yeah, we are. That's going higher. XLE, I had this marked. I don't know why I took it off, but that one's headed for the breakout. I had this written down today. So XLE looking for that breakout here. It's a multi-month breakout going back to what's a little bit higher, but going back to April. Going back to April, so we're seeing the energy sector, and again with these companies now cash rich, or expected to be cash rich. I have no doubt that you're going to see some of these other ETFs, particularly in energy, doing really well. Central CTR is the ticker. It's crypto. Oh no, I don't want that. CTR. You said it's a crypto? Yeah, I'm not seeing it, man. CTR is the ticker. I'm not seeing a CTR. Oh, you're referring. Oh, POE/C. Okay, all right. So hold on. POE. What are you talking about here? POE, CTR? Oh, we'll figure it out. Forget about Tim Sykes. Warrior Trading is where it's at. The strategies have you up 7,500 for the month. You need to get up in the gap and gold plays. Yeah, if it's working for you, great. If it's working for you, great. Yeah, I don't play follow the, if it's working for you, great. It's working for you, great. But I don't, the thing is, some guys that when something's working for them, they want everybody else to switch to that. No, that works for you. Don't mean if I do, it's going to work for me. USMJ. Up 50%. Why is this moving? USMJ is forever a piece of dilution shit. USMJ has been diluted. So I mean, this is a stock that what's the float on? It's got to be several billion, right? That's kind of why. Before I change the subject, let's look into it. I'm curious myself, but USMJ, I think the float is several billion. I mean, this has been a disaster, but you did get the stock to move today, up 50%. Yeah, look at that. 13 billion shares. 13 billion shares. Today you had a 1 billion share day, and that's the kind of, unfortunately, that's the kind of volume you're going to need to move this stock. As you can see here, it hasn't put up that kind of volume, since February of the beginning of the year. So unless you're going to be putting up 1 billion shares traded every day, USMJ ain't going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. And that's a very similar story that you can look up when it comes to CNXS. This is a stock that I did some research on today. And that's the problem here. That's the problem here. I mean, this is a stock that 870 million shares today and didn't move. Didn't move. 870 million shares. Big day for the stock. Unusually high day. This is, again, 870 million shares. The stock's never seen that kind of volume. Never seen that kind of volume. The stock didn't even budge. Didn't even budge. So, I mean, that's where it's at right now. Then they got the skull and crossbones today as well. Got the skull and crossbones today as well on OTC markets. So so that means no trading on TD Ameritrade on CNXS. That one is out. Tough day for that stock. Tough day for that stock. All right. Yes, indeed. CTR, Poker Pro. What's going on, Poker Pro? About 3 at 3.5. Hearing multiple reviews. Here's the thing, man. I think Bitcoin Cash. Coinbase came out and they say they could be halting it because of what is it? Is it CBCH, right? Something like that. Because of insider trading, supposedly. Coinbase came out and they literally admitted they had people on their staff that went heavy in Bitcoin Cash because they knew it was coming to the platform. So, you bought it at 3,500. It's pulling back right now. I don't like where you bought it. I mean, again, I've talked about how the Bollinger Bands are a really great indicator for cryptocurrencies. All right, RSI. I don't trust RSI on Bitcoin or any of the other, but Bollinger Bands I really do. But it's outside the band, and just as we saw with Bitcoin and Litecoin, it really does work when we talk about the Bollinger Band. So I'm not even going to look into Bitcoin Cash, but I'm not actually, honestly, I'm not even interested in it. But if you're looking to get in, I won't get back in until it gets back on the other side of these bands, and that's about 3,000, 30.50, 30.40, around there. All right, so that's basically where it's at right now. You know, the excitement's going to wear off a little bit on Bitcoin Cash. All right, and again, it doesn't take too much work for you to kind of pull up these charts, and as you can see, these bands really do work. I mean, they really do work. When it comes outside, it's going to come back in. You see that on Bitcoin. You see that on Litecoin. As you can see here, very similar play. Well, I got outside the bands, comes inside the bands, and starts running again. So I'm not, if I were you, I wouldn't touch Bitcoin Cash until it's back into the bands. All right, let's keep it going. Saw somebody bring up DPW. DPW is interesting too. Another Bitcoin play. Supposedly they had a machine. You had a guy on Twitter coming out saying, hey, that machine that they bought, they literally bought it off another company for $800. I mean, that's how cheap of a device this was. But nobody, that completely fell on deaf ears. Another low float stock, and it's holding up really, really well. It's holding up really, really well, up 10% today. And for the most part, let me get rid of my Bollinger Bands. But for the most part, if you use these moving averages, it's holding up really, really well. My favorite, the 15. All over the multi, it's holding really, really well. You got some pullbacks, but for the most part, on the daily chart, it's doing really well. All right, definitely stay in this one. You can get a little closer with the 4 or the 8. Here's the 4, put the 4 back on. But, on the daily chart, it's holding very nicely here on DPW. You had some pullbacks. I mean, as you can see, here's the shadows. But again, guys buying these lower price shares. When you're talking about these shadows, I mean, these shadows that are going into some extreme lows here. Guys snatch those up. So don't be hesitant to use these moving averages to see where these stocks are at. And if they're holding, I mean, why not go for a ride? Obviously now it's kind of evening out here as you start to begin to kind of funnel as this decides where it is going to end up going. What's going on, Legendary 8s? How was that, Kenneth Rosenberg? Yeah, we talked about that investors, that webcast yesterday, and we said that webcast was going to be a buying opportunity. As you can see here, it did go up 9%, unlike so many of the other Bitcoin stocks that ended up selling off. And I don't doubt that webcast probably had something to do with that. Kelly Robbie said DPW is trash. Yeah, 90% of these, 95% of these Bitcoin stocks are trash in the long term. But right now, don't underestimate the other guy's greed, man. Don't underestimate. You got guys who don't give a fuck about fundamentals right now, man. That's why stocks like Riot and Elfin are running. Elfin at $78 a share, dude. Bigger valuation than Foot Locker right now. Bigger valuation than La Quinta. La Quinta Hotels. Elfin, a fucking scam. Got a bigger valuation. Yes, indeed. Great after hours. Yeah, both of them have great after hours right now. Ross Cameron of Warrior Trading lost $800,000. Yeah. Shit happens. United Rental going in for calls. Let's take a look at United Rentals. URI. Wow, beautiful chart coming in from this summer. Look, that's a beautiful intermediate. Beautiful intermediate trend here. Long term, it's pretty much busted it. As you can see here, we just busted those 132 highs. And yeah, they're pretty liquid. Let me here pull up my Tasty Works. There are quite a few charts like this that you want to go long on, and unfortunately, they're just so expensive. You got to go real big with size to make it, you know, worth your while. But if you see the option side, it's not liquid, right? So they got huge spreads. One of them is Dollar Tree. You know, Dollar Tree looking for the breakout. Dollar Tree looking for the breakout. You know, that's one that I'm watching. Dollar Tree, is that trying to find that 2016 breakout? But United Rentals, yeah, that's a really nice looking chart, man. That's a really nice looking chart. Yes, indeed. All right. GRCW. Let's look at GRCW. Grow Condos. Yeah, we talked about Grow Condos yesterday, man. And look at what Grow Condos did today. You know, pure play marijuana stock. I got to do some research on Grow Condos, man, because this has been a really impressive, 2 months for them. This has been a very, very impressive 2 months for them. I mean, the stock is up over 700% since November, was that November 9th? November 8th. Yeah, the stock is up over 700% since November 8th. Very impressive for GRCW. That's an impressive move. I mean, this is a stock that came from some really beat up lows, right? I mean, this is a stock that had some pumps, earlier in the year, but for the most part went very dim, and all of a sudden now it's back to life, and guys are really snatching this higher. They are really, really snatching this higher. All right. Let me see here. Oh, hold on. Put my password in here. All right. Let's go. All right, Ross Cameron, NETE, what else? DPW. I wrote today on my website, Advanced Equity Research. I wrote up an article on RNVA for 2018. I put that as a stock to watch for 2018. RNVA, this was a former NASDAQ stock. Some of you guys may have remembered. I was talking about it in during much better times. The stock reverse split a couple times to kind of stay trading. Unfortunately, the underlying business was struggling. This is a company that back in January, they bought a hospital that was going out of business, that actually had gone out of business and closed up. They bought this hospital. They put millions into it. Excellent capital improvements. Spent several millions of dollars, well over $30 million doing it. The hospital went back online on August 8th of this year. August 8th of this year. And they just recently announced that the company not only had gotten approved again, because it was approved under previous owners, to receive Medicare payments, but also the ability to negotiate with private insurers. All right. They also released information on December 4th that the renamed hospital, which has been renamed to Big South Fork Medical Center, had received its first payments from these private insurers. In that news release, the company also said that they expect this hospital, which in 2015, when it closed up, it generated about $12 million in revenue at the time. The company came out and said that they expect, those kind of numbers again within 12 months of its opening, which is, again, back in August 2016. So 12 months from then, let's go August of 2018. RNVA, in my opinion, I wrote up an article on it on my website. I still think you've got about 50% downside move because the fact of the matter is they just started getting money. So the company still is going to have to dilute shares, still continue to take on debt before we start really seeing money coming into the company. But I think this is a stock you need to keep an eye on for 2018 once the balance sheet starts showing that this acquisition is bringing in the cash that they said it's going to bring in. So I have a great article on my website about RNVA, one to watch for you. But again, I'd look at it as a stock that's still got significant selling off to do. And, we're probably going to be able to get a stock like this at a penny or maybe even lower. A penny or maybe even lower. Yeah, getting real beat up right now. Again, you still got a 50% downside, but I want to put it out there. All right. All right. Follow the news. A lot of these companies are still beat up. You see a lot of OTC stocks still beat up, but it's about finding them when nobody wants them. When you're chasing them when everybody's all excited and that's you're just padding somebody else's gains. I want them when nobody wants them. So yeah, that's why I'm talking about stocks like Puro or stocks like RNVA. INVT is another one that I'm doing some research on. INVT. This is another OTC stock that doing some kind of work here, but I haven't gotten the whole answer yet to what exactly is going on here. The stock is up 12%. Right? We had Silver by the Ounce. Silver by the Ounce came into the chat room a couple days ago, and he gave us that. Let me see here. Do I still have that one? That casino play. We're expecting news to come out of the Supreme Court. It could come as early as January, but as late as March. I'm seeing some accumulation happening. Yeah, that's right. TGRR. Tiger Reef, which is said to be a gaming stock, but I read the filings and then they're not saying that they're a gaming stock. Yet at the end of the day, people are still buying the shares. So I don't know what's going on here, but I'm watching it very carefully, what's going on in TGR. Let's look at the weekly for a better impression of what's going on here. But something's going on here. The stock's up 21% on relatively low volume, but it's something to watch. It's just something to watch. All right, but I'm doing get more research on that one. But GPIW, this Grand Perfecta, I'm telling you right now, watch this one, GPIW. This is truly a betting play. It is a betting stock. You're going to go to the website, Japanese betting company with supposedly operations here in the States. What's going on, Jason? GRWC tiny float 1.7 million. Let me go back to there. GRWC grow condos. All right. Well, then I'm not surprised then. I'm not surprised then when we see that kind of action. And I can only imagine, the guys who've been in this, who've been sitting in this for the last month and a half, or who just got in early, right? I mean, where are we at here on the still ways away from the 100. All right, so you just passed the 100. Where were you at on the 50? Look at that. Wow. Let me give a cheer on that one. I mean, if the 50 moving average is something you look at, boy, what a return. What a return for the 50 moving averages. That was your in. All right, you got in at exactly practically 0.019, and now you're at 13.1375. So incredible gain for anybody who was in there on Grow Condos. There was volume here. I mean, a couple 100,000 shares too. A couple 100,000 shares. You really just kind of started getting into the millions as you see some of these larger candlesticks of volume. But again, 0.019 And just curious, 0.13. Now you're at 0.1375. Okay, let me see here. 0.13. 0.019. Yeah, I mean, that's 584% on your money. 584% on your money since 11/20. So exactly 30 days. Exactly 30 days. What's going on, Mike Reynolds? No, I haven't talked about that. I haven't had anybody bring up that stock. For those of you guys who don't remember, FTFT, thank you for bringing that up. FTFT, by the way, this is a stock that used to go as Sky People Fruit Juice. You guys remember that? You guys remember Sky People Fruit Juice? This was a stock that we had a really good time with last year, and this was kind of where I started my show. I started my show around maybe like a week after this happened, and then it kind of ran again. About a week after that happened, it kind of ran again. Sky People Fruit Juice was a Chinese orange juice concentrate company. That's all they did. I mean, they were the huge provider of orange juice for the nation. And now all of a sudden they're out of that business, and they've reappeared as Future FinTech Group. Right? They've reappeared as Future FinTech Group, and this is where they are. You know, so they're in the financial space. And when I say financial space, I mean cryptocurrency financing. And although that's a lucrative business to be in, you know, it's a very lucrative business to be in when it's explained to me. I mean, when you're talking about really lowering the cost of being able to use cryptocurrency or the blockchain to make payments or small loans, particularly in a country like China, that's huge. That's huge. But yeah, they used to be Sky People Fruit Juice. Yeah, it's going higher. I think you get a pullback here, though. I mean, you're really hot, about 86 on the RSI. Yeah, I mean, you left a lot of people up there too, right? So let's look at the 5-minute charts. As you can see here, I still got, what's that up here? The 50 moving average here on that. Is that the 50? Yes, that is. That's the 50. 50 moving average. Where's my 15 at? 15 is tight. Oh, look at the 50 is actually bringing pretty good on a 5-minute chart. Usually you don't see a 50 moving average this tight on a 5-minute chart, but boy, it's kind of tight on that. All right, but yeah, as you can see here, held the 50 moving average and found its way back over here very next day. As you can see here, this is today's action, starting right here with the gap up opening, riding it higher, and then eventually selling off into the close. But you know, a lot of these stocks, you know, they're going higher when you think they're going to be going lower. You know, so the very next day. Although this one, look, it's had really good couple days here. It could be using a pullback here any day now. It could be as soon as tomorrow. But yeah, FinTech Group, yeah, it used to be Sky People Fruit Juice. Used to be SPU, Sky People Fruit Juice. All right, that's why you can't find SPU anymore. Now I think it's another ticker, right? Yeah, you can't find them anymore because they used to be. FT is them. Yep. It's in the news reports. You can look up the news, and you can see them there. You can see them there. Press like on this video if you can. Appreciate it. MSTL prime example in at 250 out at 290 easy grand. MTSL. All right, MTSL, that's another one. MTSL, yeah, that's another one where you kind of left a lot of people up there, right? Let's look at the 5-minute chart. Yeah, left a lot of people up there. Here's the 5-minute. As you can see here, got there in the morning and then, you know, goodbye on that one. Goodbye on that one. But nice move on there, playing those huge morning runners. Playing those huge morning runners. Yeah, this is the thing where you gotta have to play like the 1 minute, 2 minute, or something like that. Yeah, there are guys who make a lot of money doing this. I mean, playing the 1 minute and just kind of riding it. You got to be fast with your fingers, preferably using hotkeys. I know that's a big thing that he does, Warrior Trading does. So yeah, if that's a strategy that works for you, all the best. He said Chinese fintech. BLIN. BLIN. Bridgeline Capital brought it up yesterday. Gosh, I'm gonna have to remember to do some research on this one, because this is a couple times now this stock has been brought up, and I really don't have much to say about it because I don't know what they do. So I'm gonna have to find some time to look this up and find out what's going on with BLIN. Right now, looking like a short to me. Looking like a short to me, but we've got to figure out where all this new volume is coming from. As you can see here, a lot of volume coming into the stock. You know, but even the greatest pumps get old after a while and lose momentum. And I'm not seeing strong enough news. Looks like it was earnings. All right, so it looks like it was earnings. Not sure how victorious of an earnings report it was, but so far it looks really good. MYO about to make a run higher. Let's take a look at MYO. I like where that's at on the daily chart, actually. I actually do like where that's at on the daily chart. MYO, Medical Equipment and Supplies Company. Yeah, looks like you are about to break that 50 moving average. Still a ways away from the 100. Here's the 60-minute chart, one of my favorites. Very reliable. He's broken the 60. Oh, god damn, I missed that one. Look at that. That's a beautiful, nice little run over that 50 moving average here on the 60. Nice move on that one. So going higher here. But again, the daily chart, you know, still looking very healthy on the daily chart. You're still just at 50 on the RSI. So today's, you know, candlestick got you higher. Let's see if that, you know, if we can get above that on the daily chart. So tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day for MYO. Of course, read the news, see what else is going on here. Volume is relatively, you know, it's got decent volume, 2.7 million shares. But we still getting the blue here, but, you know, so it's still averaging as light, but, you know, that's some nice days here so far in MYO. Said market orders scare me. Yeah, I do not do any market orders whatsoever. Sometimes, though, when you want to get out of a short, though, I do sometimes will cover with a market order. I will cover with a market order when I want to get out quick, especially if you're going into a capitulation type of play where you get in short and all of a sudden they start, you know, dip buyers start coming in, and then you just, yeah, I would use a market order to cover then. But buying in with a market order, I think is a horrible thing to do. Because almost 99% of the time, you get the worst execution. You get the worst execution. You know, like the thing that they say on market orders. Market orders, you know, limit orders guarantee you a price. Market orders guarantee you a position, basically. Limit orders guarantee you a price. Market orders guarantee you a position. All right, let me. I just bought. Has anybody read the book? because I'm reading the new updated versions because everybody's like, oh, the updated version is better. And if you don't have a tablet, you really should get a tablet. I always tell people, go get those little $50, $60 tablets on eBay and shit like that, and get you some of these books that are really going to be able to drive some knowledge home that we just can't get into here on the show. But the books, man, that's where all the knowledge is. Some guys like videos. Videos are great too, but man, if you just want to get a little bit deeper into the nuances, get yourself a tablet. And this book right here, I just started, and because I got done with the candlestick course. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is securities analysis. This is the new edition. This is on my tablet, securities analysis. And not all of the chapters pertain to what you're doing, right? You know, a lot of these books go so in detail to the study of finance, and that's not what I'm looking for. I'm just kind of looking for, you know, tips and tricks, or a different way to think about something, reading something I haven't seen before, or something like that. But when they start getting into stuff like bonds, or when they start getting into stuff like analysis of like income accounts and shit like that, I skip those chapters. And I skip those chapters. All right. So that's the Bible of fundamental. Yeah, it really is the Bible of fundamental analysis. Because, you know, when it comes to these small cap stocks, it's so much easier to understand these financial statements because there's not much there, right? But I want to know what some of these things mean when I look through them. You know, I still want a deeper understanding of what I'm reading, and that's why I'm trying to get some deeper knowledge on that. And I can bring some of that to the show. But I know when we were breaking down filing, some people thought we were taking too much time doing that, so that's why we kind of leave that to traders to do themselves. Let's keep it going. CIEQ, so we can close out. I always miss talking about something on the show. That's why I'm looking to make sure I get everything, because 5 minutes after I end the show, I'm like, damn, I should have said something about that fucking stock. So I always try to go over my trading notes for the day, and always thinking about what I was thinking about in terms of what I traded and shit like that. CIEQ Investment Banking Brokerage Services. Tell us a little bit more about the company, Artie. I see it's up huge. I mean, it's another stock that's up real big. But tell us a little bit more about it. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to connect to too many devices. Let me go. If you could tell us a little bit more about what's going on here. I know I can't track every single stock that's up. So you guys know I got the call-in line. I had guys signed up to present 4 or 5 stocks to us a week, but you know, not everybody's willing to go as hard as I am when it comes to this shit. So it is what it is, man. Sometimes you just got to do it yourself. You know, some people it's a hobby. To some people they want it to be a living. SSC, Bravo, Brian. Yeah. This is up. Yeah, I mean this is up huge, but I can't really. Okay, so the company, I'm looking at the news here. Going through some of their releases here on FinViz, and so the company came out and said that they're going to be doing something on the blockchain. All right, something on the blockchain. Company came out and said something that plans to expand into blockchain and cryptocurrency trading. All right, so yeah, do your research on that, how deep they plan on going with that. But yeah, that's their gig. They on the blockchain thing too. Discount broker that will offer crypto with overstock. Thank you, Anthony. Link to overstock.com. And overstock.com, that rise in overstock, it's not just purely crypto based, although I think crypto has a lot to do with that. But they're actually one of these online retailers that's actually finding a way to win, during the time of Amazon. They're still finding a way to win. Slight pullback today on the stock. But they're finding a way to win. And by the way, this is a company that's been accepting Bitcoin for a while now. It's not new. Obviously, they're doing some new things with cryptocurrency, but Overstock has accepted Bitcoin for quite a while. Is that popped up on your scanner? Yeah, Ripple is ripping. Ripple is it's been incredible what Ripple is doing right now. Where is Ripple at right now? I know it's XRP is up there somewhere. Doing a huge move right now. Right. Just want to make sure I got everything I wanted to talk about. Couple stocks. NVAX. NVAX. This is a really interesting stock that was down huge yesterday. It tried to fight its way up today. Got to as high as $1.18 before selling at $1.12. I love the doji candlestick. I love the doji candlestick. That tells me that the bulls want back in. The bulls want back in here. So NVAX $1.12 right now. This is a stock that's on my radar for tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll see. Stock crashed huge yesterday. Stock ended up losing over 26% yesterday. Only gained 2.75%. So still a lot of red meat on there that's need to be made up. Doji candlestick on today's movement on that. And again, we talked about AKER. I'm still still watching that every morning. AKER, 14-cent stock. We'll see. BW sounded very similar. Very, very similar move. If you remember BW, stock sold off very aggressively. Then we had spinning top, and all of a sudden we got some green coming back in and ended up working our way higher on that one. All right. By the way, BW pulled back today. That one pulled back today. All right. Again, finding some of these other stocks. Y10. This is an old Chinese stock. If you guys remember Y10 was the biggest gainer a couple days ago. And as you can see here, if you had the opportunity to get some shorts on this, you were a huge winner multiple days. Right? Multiple day winner in Y10. I'll go ahead and flush that aside. But at the end of the day, believe it or not, you could get a bounce here. Believe it or not. So it's one I'm watching. I love easy money. So we'll see. GRW. Don't know too much about this one. GRW, huge loser yesterday, another loser today. Other than that, anything else? This used to be a big winner a couple of weeks ago. Was a big winner a couple of weeks ago. CRAX, you guys remember the social media stock? Ended up pulling back. Since then, hasn't done much. Look at today's loser. We talked about this one earlier. CCIH, huge loser yesterday. Huge loser today, but put up incredible numbers yesterday. So that was to be expected. But man, what a gap down opening and then selling off really hard. And that kind of spread across the market because you saw CCIH and then CR sold off real hard today as well. That continues to sell off. You know, this is another one now that's in oversold territory. I'm also watching CCCR. You know, this is really hard. I mean, look at that. This is what a sell-off here. What a sell-off. Someone says load the boat on dries. Tell me why, Cali Rob. Tell me why. All right. More tickers here real quick just to go through. ATOS. Nah, not sure yet on this one. I'm not sure yet on this one. But the volume is just stupid, man. 7.6 million shares. Obviously, a lot of people dumping into that today. So I'm watching ATOS. The stock lost about 23% of its value today. I'd love to see another red day so we go clearly sub 30 on that RSI. That'd be a nice little move for that. But still, you know, they're dirt cheap stocks, so there's some real fundamental issues there. But wouldn't mind seeing a red day. Wouldn't mind seeing another red day so we can get oversold there. My size, MYSZ. Somebody had brought this stock up yesterday. I can't remember who it was. Stock sold off today. I don't know why we got a green candlestick. We did get to some extreme lows, but it worked its way higher. But it is what it is. Now at my size at 71 cents. 71 cents. Here's one stock with some incredible volatility. Mankind. Mankind is a stock that, you know, we've seen here put up some incredible numbers when news drops. Mankind, unfortunately, lately has been making some new lows as it continues to go lower. Now being a multiple-day loser as it's now below the 50-day moving average here. A multiple-day loser. Now, you know, with today's move, clearly below the 30-day, clearly below the 30 on the RSI. Now oversold on MNKD. This is a stock that traders really like, and I'm bringing it to your attention because, you know, again, traders do like Mankind. This is a stock that can run. Now we're oversold. Does that mean we get some possibility of dip buying here? We'll see. But I'd love a better looking candlestick for the day to justify an entry there. You know, this is really aggressive candlestick for today. You almost got the Marubatsu, but there's a slight shadow at the end of that candlestick. All right. Couple other tickers to go through. DRUS. DRUS, this is another one I got to do some research on. Drone USA. You know, the drone stocks really kind of came out. The drone stocks really kind of came out like 2015, 2016, and they didn't really get the respect I think so many new industries get, especially on the OTC side, right? So marijuana, crypto, you know, we didn't really see the same respect when the drone stocks came out. And that's why I'm going to really be focusing on looking at some of those again, because as we go into 2018 and we see these technology companies start doing more, you know, can we start seeing drones actually start performing some of the things we think they're going to be doing, you know, like delivering mail, like, I mean, because what happened to that Amazon drone? You guys remember that Amazon drone that was going to be delivering to your house? That came out, you know, what, 6-7 months ago now. We haven't heard much about it. We haven't really heard much about it since then. So, you know, the drone stocks are still out there, and don't forget about them. Don't forget about them, because they're unwanted now, but you know they'll have their time. Please believe it. Looks like the stock is up 4.5%. A huge amount of volume yesterday. It looks like somebody loaded a boat on Drone USA. AMPE. Don't know much about this stock. on AMPE. If you know, please let me know. Please let me know, but I don't know too much about AMPE. I do not know too much about AMPE. I'm trying to make sure we don't get any companies overnight saying that they're going into Bitcoin or into crypto. I don't see any overnight releases on any kind of news like that on the OTC side anyway. Yeah, not seeing much on that. Not seeing much on that. I do want to talk about an old competitor to DTII. An old competitor to DTII. DTII, by the way, you know, don't forget about this stock right here. Nobody's trading it right now, but this is not one you want to be you don't want to lose out on in terms of, you know, being able to get here on some of these lows. I'd love to get you know, some sub 20s before I jump in on this. I'm bringing it to your attention because I think you can, you know, this is a great entry on DTII for a long-term hold. But this is a competitor for the stock, ADCF. ADCF is a DTII with better share structure. It's got a better share structure. It's not as diluted. And the company came out today and got the yield sign removed. They are now OTC current. The stock was up 24% today on that move. That's on still relatively light volume. But that was really nice to see that the company has recently put out all of these filings. In fact, if you go on OTC markets and you pull up all their filings, they've been spitting them out and doing a really good job of spitting them out. So they are now fully current. ADCF. It's definitely one you need to be watching right now that they are current and clean to be trading on OTC markets. All right? Yeah, DTII defense stock, ACDF too as well, defense stock. All right, that North Korea thing hasn't been affecting the markets, but at the end of the day, it's still out there, man. And then I read the article today that they just executed. They just executed the guy who's a part of that nuclear program. That's crazy. 919, you're on the air. What's up?
Oh, what's up, Sal?
Hey, who am I speaking with?
Hello?
Yes, what's up? Who am I speaking with?
Oh, man, this is NJB out of Raleigh.
Appreciate it, man. What's going on with you, bro?
I got a really important question to ask you. Today, I've been watching this stock for about maybe about 2 months. It's called CPI, Card Services Group.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of them?
I've not heard of them. What's the ticker?
I don't even know the ticker.
And what's it called?
CPI, Card Services Group or Card Holder Group.
PMTS.
No, CPI.
Yeah, CPI Card Group. Yeah, their ticker is PMTS.
There you go. Yes.
Up 352%. Hold on. What? Hold on. Where are we getting it? Up 352. Is that on today's move?
Yes, because yesterday it was 75 cents. I was thinking about getting it yesterday, but I just disregarded. I said, nah, I ain't worrying about it. Woke up this morning, that bad boy jumped up to $3 some change. Really was like $4.
Yeah, I'm wondering why it wasn't on the biggest gainer list though. It wasn't PM. Hold on. Oh, okay, all right. So it was a reverse split.
That's what happened.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it was a reverse split. It's just something they do in order to stay compliant with listing requirements for the NASDAQ. That's what I was wondering. I was like, I didn't 352%. I was watching the market really aggressively today based on see how I was going to do on this tax plan. And I would have seen that move, and I did not see PMTS. But, yeah. All right, so it was a reverse split.
Okay.
This is it's 344 now. Look, this brings out all the sharks. So if anything, I can see this back into the twos very, very shortly, because although reverse splits keep companies compliant with NASDAQ, they don't change the underlying fundamentals of the business that got it to a point where it was risking being delisted. So unless some news comes out to scare these shorters out, this is going to be going back to the twos very quickly.
Okay, my man. One more stock, and I'm gonna let you go.
No, go ahead.
It's a Chinese company called Xingyuan Real Estate.
Xingyuan Real Estate. You're gonna have to spell that one for me.
Yeah, I know it's a hard one. It's XINYUAN.
Okay.
Real Estate.
So this is literally XIN. The ticker is literally XIN.
Yo.
All right. So for a Chinese real estate company, they actually have pretty decent volume today. Anyway, where's all this volume coming from out of this stock?
I have no idea. Maybe a earnings report or something. I'm not even really sure. Yeah. I had got wind of them maybe like last year, and I mean, I just like the fundamentals of the company, and the guy that's like the CEO. Everything I could read about him, they said he does pretty good business and has a pretty good track record. So I went in on the company, and plus they give a pretty good dividend payout.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I see it's trading for relatively low PE as well, like most real estate stocks. So it's definitely working to its typical performance of its sector, right? Real estate companies relatively have very low PE, unlike technology stocks or industrials. The income that they generate, you don't want to overprice that. So real estate companies, you want to see a low PE, preferably sub 10 on real estate companies. And this one has a 5.8. That's really good. Got over 1,000 employees. So this is a pretty big company. Market cap, though, is pretty small at $490 million. It's interesting. I mean, it's interesting. I'm just kind of curious as to where all the volume is coming from, as I don't see any kind of news recently besides something about a general annual meeting.
Yeah, that's all I can find, too.
And it looks like New York project management team. All right, so they're doing something in New York.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Property development in New York. And that's kind of really interesting, man. These Chinese, for all the talk about them being a communist country, man, these people are rich, and they are buying a lot of real estate. They are responsible for a lot of the, incredible gains in real estate prices when you're talking about places like Canada and Toronto, when you're talking about LA, New York, Miami. These Chinese people are coming here, and they're spending millions of dollars on American property. So, more power to them. More power to them. They're keeping a lot of American.
Do you think with them buying up so much stuff, it's going to be a bubble or vacuum, or just being artificially inflated, which will pop?
Well, I can't say that. I don't know what they're buying, but I mean they're buying U.S. real estate, and we're not in a bubble right now. I won't say we're in a bubble. We had housing starts come out 2 days ago. They were excellent. We've got fewer than we would want to in terms of supply of houses out there. So supply of homes is going down. Prices are going up. Millennials are finally getting into the real estate space, but not as still not as aggressively as I think people would want. Last time I read up on that, but no, I wouldn't say it. But I mean, again, you got to really do your research on what this company is actually really trying to do. What are their holdings? I don't really know. Are there more U.S. based holdings, or are they more international?
They're more Chinese. They're building from what I can find. They build residential condos and apartments in tier 1 and tier 2 cities in China.
Okay. And the stuff that I've read on Chinese real estate, though, there has been tough stuff that mentioning it's a bottle. I mean, it's a bubble. In fact, let me see here. Let me grab this article that came out. When did this come out? Last month, November 21st. China to fend off bubble risk with tighter property rules. So China understands, the government of China understands that there's a possible property bubble going on in China. I'll go ahead and post that in the chat room right there. So yeah, there could be, some issues going on in China, but as you can see here, the government is on it and trying to do something about it. But yeah, these Chinese people are getting money, man, and they're buying homes and doing what they got to do for their country. So right now things are looking good, and the stock is looking like it's about to break out of some multi-month highs right now. So multi-year highs to be exact too. Look at that, you're about next to this 2013 high, not too far from there, by the way.
Yeah, because I was buying a couple shares of it back when it was like $4 a share, because I felt comfortable in that range. But then it shot up into fives, and I kind of left it alone. I just been kind of watching it to see if it would like go back into a low or something within the fours. Okay. But it hasn't. It's been like this for a few months. So I was wanting to get some another opinion on the stock to make sure I wasn't seeing things.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in it now, I mean, obviously, today's move is kind of out there. A lot of volatility on the stock. That's not the nicest looking candlestick in the world, right? You had a huge move up to 7, and then it didn't commit to 7, pulled back to 6, 80s, couldn't stay up there, and then eventually closed to 650. You got to a low of 623. I mean, but that's to expect for a stock that average trades only 230,000. All of a sudden today brought in about 4.1 million shares. So it's going to be interesting to see what this volume continues to do if it maintains, which I doubt, but we'll see how things work out in the future.
Nice, man. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for bringing that up.
No problem.
Yes, indeed, man. Chinese real estate is a beast unto itself, man. No country is making more millionaires right now than China, and many of these millionaires in China, they're bringing their wealth stateside, doing as much as bringing their children to American schools, buying them homes so their one child, right? They'll buy a house for their one child to live in and go to school here, high school. So this is a high school kid with his own house that his parents in China have bought for him to go to school in America and have access to go to, some of the best universities. Because, these Chinese people, no matter how much money they have, they're all about getting their kids into the best schools because they're a big believer in education, that education can be a destiny or they're guaranteed to financial security. All right? Which is interesting because even though many of them get incredible educations, they still buy a business. So they'll go with the degrees, but they don't fall for the okie doke that the degree is everything. They still take care of business by making sure that they're not working for anybody but themselves. Or if they are working, they're working for their own people. Yeah, deep shit. Saying the link is broken. I don't know why I'm having trouble posting links. Because the link works. I don't know why I'm having trouble posting links for whatever reason. Let me see. Is it still not working? Yeah, CNBC. I don't know why CNBC doesn't, their links fucking suck. Their links are fucking horrible. I don't know why. Unknown number. I'm not taking your call, man. I'm not taking your call. Fuck with those little unknown number games. Motherfuckers calling me from prison or some shit. Yeah, basically that's what they're doing, man. They get that little degree and then they're going doing whatever they want. But a lot of times they're going back to helping mommy and daddy. They're very smart people. Very intelligent people, man. All right. So I think that's a wrap. Let me go ahead and ring the bell. You know, I don't like to keep you guys below 11 p.m. or after 11. Let me go ahead and ring the bell here. Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me say quick things about Diddy. All right. Diddy doesn't have, like I ended the show a little bit about this yesterday. Diddy doesn't have the money to buy the Panthers. All right. Just as I said on the show to end yesterday, Diddy is just trying to get, you know, his rep out there to a point where a group of guys with billions of dollars who say, okay, we can't really be the face of this. We need somebody to bring some excitement to this announcement. Let's go ahead and bring Diddy on, right? Let's give him a Jay-Z deal, right? 2%, 1% to say, hey, you're the owner, you're a part owner, this is your team, blah, blah, blah. And he can bring some excitement, you know, to the organization and the idea of them having new owners. But here's the thing. Shout out to LeVar Ball. Did you guys hear what LeVar Ball came out and did today? LeVar Ball came out and said that he's going to build a junior basketball association for players who don't want to go to college. Now, you know, a lot of guys are like, where's the money going to come from this league, blah, blah, blah. It's not even about, it's just AAU and making it, putting money into an AAU system. That's all it is. It's an AAU system with guys who are not in high school. And now you're going to have kids walking around with endorsement deals. You're going to have kids walking around who are getting paid from boosters, getting paid from guys who, hey, man, you do 1 year at this AAU or in this junior basketball association, right? And then I want you to eventually play for, you know, this NBA team or this, you know what I'm saying? So I'm all up for it. I'm 100 with it, man. Shout out to LeVar Ball. These NBA athletes or basketball players in college, I mean, they've been used, abused. So many of them end up with no money, nothing to fall back on. 90% of them don't even graduate. These schools are, you know, made millions, billions of dollars in their endowment off the backs of these poor athletes. Many of them whose mothers are on welfare, parents on, you know, dads on drugs or victim of a criminal justice system that targets them because they were poor. Shout out to LeVar Ball, and I'm going to be the first one to grab a jersey or something to put into that basketball league, you know. But, you know, at the end of the day, Diddy's a fucking coon. He's not, instead of asking LeVar Ball, let's say, hey, man, let me get a New York version of that team. Let me get a New York team out here. He's begging for butter biscuits to try to get, you know, into the NFL, you know, a league that they don't even like him. They don't even fucking like him, you know. He came out and said he wanted the team. They started laughing at the dude. You know what I'm saying? But Diddy is a fucking joke. I have no respect for Diddy at all. The guy's a fucking liquor salesman. He sells poison. Doesn't even really, you know, he's a salesman. That's all he is. He's basically a salesman. And who sells poison, you know. He sells poison. I don't respect that motherfucker at all. It's a big baller league. I don't know what he's going to call the league. I mean, right now, there's a picture of a junior basketball league. You know, things like that change. It's all in development. It's all in development. Yeah. I have no respect for Diddy because Diddy puts out a wrong picture of what's going on out here. He puts on a facade for a lot of young people coming up who think they can just out-hustle themselves out of the hood, and it don't work that way. It don't work that way. You need a political system, and you need a government that's working to help you get out of your situation. And if you don't have a government that works for you, you know, in your neighborhood, you're not going to out-hustle, you know, or out-dream your way out of poverty. It doesn't work that way. And people like Diddy are in charge of putting out a fake narrative about, you know, what life really is. All right. But again, I don't want to go into that shit because you know, people start getting their feelings hurt and shit like that. Let me get off the air. let me get off the air. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, to wrap shit up for the week. Great episode today. I got some stocks I need to review as we continue to build our dreams here. Our 10,000 days, building our wealth slowly but surely, one branch at a time. All right. Other people may get there faster. Other people may get there tomorrow. But you're on your journey. You have to enjoy your journey. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Say he doesn't give any. No, yeah, because his idea, Diddy is put in place to sell a fantasy. That's what he is, to sell the fantasy. You know, Oprah's going broke. Oprah's going broke. You know, these people are in charge to sell fantasies. You know, Jay-Z, all of them are just put up there to sell the fantasy. You know, politics is the solution to all of your problems. You know, political engagement. But if you're not going to be politically engaged, you can dream that you're going to hustle, out-rap, dribble, you know, pitch, throw a football out of your way, out of poverty. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. All right, let me get up out of here. Let me play the there we go. Let me play my outro. Stock Z, appreciate you, man. Cali Rob, Relative 9696. Gucci. Who else is in here? SC Trucker, Londale Carter, Ann Bullard. Shout out to you, man. Thank you. Thank you, Ann Bullard. Random Stock Run. Yeah, Diddy's the face of poison, man. You know, alcohol is, for the most part, is poison, bro. Andrew Gladness. Yes, indeed. Out here hustling every day. That's why I love that intro, man. I'm out here hustling every day. You know, then good things take time. Just slowly but surely, just keep compounding, that 2%, 3%. If you remember, listen to that show when we had Billy Ray on there. You know, go look up compounding gains. That 3% a day, that 4% a day, that shit adds up, man. We working over here. Yes, indeed. Random Stock Run. Who else is in here? Desert Edge, Abro. Shout out to all the people who are watching, man. I'll be back here same time, same place tomorrow. Happy trading, everyone. Do your research. See you tomorrow. Take care.